Vivica Fox may be 60, but age clearly isn't stopping her from turning heads or stirring controversy. The internet lit up after she made a recent appearance flaunting a noticeably enhanced figure, and let's just say, fans didn't need long to put two and two together. The tight white jeans, the sudden curve boost, the social media side eyes, it all screamed one thing: BBL. And while Vivica hasn't confirmed the rumors, the internet already did. But instead of cheers, many fans claimed the results looked off. Some even went as far as saying she should sue whoever did it. Harsh? Maybe. But what made everything explode even further was a familiar voice chiming in, her ex, 50 Cent. And if you know anything about their history, you know things never stay quiet when Curtis Jackson gets involved. The speculation reached a boiling point when Vivica made a grand entrance at a promotional event for her Viva Fox hair collection at Houston's Beauty Empire Superstore. On what should have been a celebratory day, all it took was a slow-motion clip of her walking into the venue, and the internet had a field day. Clad in a curve-hugging white ensemble that accentuated every inch of her figure, Vivica confidently strutted past fans and cameras. But while she walked in like a boss, it was the drastic change in her backside that became the center of conversation. Social media caught the footage within hours, and Twitter, TikTok, and Instagram lit up with hot takes. Vivica Fox got one too? She's 60, one user posted, clearly shocked. Another person wrote, "Nah, that BBL is giving grandma diaper on chopstick legs. What is going on?" The comments were brutal, dissecting everything from her proportions to her motivation. "Her legs don't match the booty. You can tell it's fresh and overdone," someone else chimed in. The clip quickly went viral, not because of the business promo, but because of the backlash. It wasn't just the noticeable size difference, it was the way it all looked together. Fans claimed the volume didn't blend naturally with the rest of her frame. The term botched started trending in comment sections, with viewers comparing her new look to some of the most infamous failed plastic surgeries in Hollywood. But beyond the internet snark, a deeper conversation started bubbling beneath the surface. Why would Vivica, known for her killer body and timeless face, go down this route at 60? Was this pressure to stay youthful in a ruthless industry? Or a personal decision gone too far? Either way, the message was clear. This BBL had people talking, and not in the way she probably intended. What started as whispers of curiosity quickly exploded into a storm of criticism. And it wasn't just casual observers weighing in. Longtime fans, beauty critics, and social media watchdogs turned Vivica's transformation into an open forum. And while some tried to defend her, saying women should be allowed to age however they choose, the overwhelming narrative was that she had crossed a line. Vivica used to have that body. Natural, snatched, timeless. Why ruin perfection? One comment read. Another brutally claimed, she went from Hollywood glam to Insta filter fail in one surgery. The most stinging critiques didn't just come from anonymous users. Some people who had admired her for decades said they felt disappointed, almost betrayed, like Hollywood had claimed another one. For years, Vivica was celebrated as an example of aging gracefully in an industry obsessed with youth. Now, that image had been shaken, replaced by a look fans called desperate, off-brand, and chasing clout. Yet, there was a quieter group in the mix, those asking people to ease up. "She's a grown woman," one fan defended. "If a man can get hair plugs and veneers at 65, why can't Vivica get a BBL at 60? Another added, "Y'all shame women for aging, then shame them for fixing it. Make up your minds." But their voices were often drowned out by the viral memes, side-by-side comparisons, and brutal TikTok parodies, mocking her new look. The backlash wasn't just about aesthetics. It tapped into something deeper. It exposed how quickly admiration turns into mockery, how celebrity bodies are constantly policed, and how even a Hollywood vet like Vivica isn't immune to internet cruelty. And just when the fire was raging, her most notorious ex decided to pour gasoline all over it. And right on cue, like clockwork, he chimed in. Because if there's one thing we can always count on, It's that 50 Cent never misses a chance to stir the pot, especially when it involves Vivica A. Fox. Their history isn't just messy, it's practically its own reality show. From red carpet romance to social media wars, their past is a highlight reel of passion, pettiness, and public shade. So, when 50 caught wind of the BBL rumors, fans braced themselves. Would it be another savage post? A meme? A diss track? Surprisingly, his initial response was lightweight. Under a headline speculating about Vivica's alleged surgery, 50 simply commented, "Wait, let me see, no insult." No full-blown roast. Just enough to spark curiosity and chaos. But because this is 50 Cent we're talking about, the internet immediately ran wild. Was he just being messy? Was he impressed? Was he trying to spin the block? And just like that, new headlines started popping up. Vivica's rumored BBL has 50 Cent spinning the block. 50 quickly clapped back, denying any romantic intentions. "Who said I was spinning the block? Man, damn. I ain't gonna lie, that booty was good though. I think," he joked. And just like that, the line between shade and flirtation blurred again. It was a callback to their old dynamic. Him throwing casual jabs, her throwing subtle shade, the public eating it up. Because as much as they've dragged each other over the years, there's always been this lingering what if in the air. Even Vivica has admitted on multiple occasions that 50 was the love of her life. And the way she's spoken about him, years after the breakup, only adds fuel to the theory that deep down, some part of her still wouldn't mind a rerun. But whether his comment was sincere, sarcastic, or strategic, one thing was clear. With 50 back in the conversation, the drama wasn't just about a BBL anymore. It was about them. Again. To understand why 50's latest comment hit so hard, and why the internet instantly lit up, you have to rewind 2 decades to the beginning of one of Hollywood's most chaotic almost love stories. Back in 2003, Vivica and 50 Cent were the unexpected couple. She was an established, glamorous Hollywood actress. He was the rough-around-the-edges rapper dominating the charts. But for a moment, they were magnetic. Red carpets, flirty interviews, matching energy, until it all crashed. The romance didn't just fizzle, it detonated. The breakup was messy, public, and dragged out longer than the actual relationship. After they split, they didn't just move on, they turned each other into punchlines. 50 shaded her in interviews and memes. Vivica threw subtle and not-so-subtle shots during talk show appearances. And when she sat down with Andy Cohen on Watch What Happens Live, things went nuclear. After being asked about 50's comments on gay storylines in Empire, Vivica raised eyebrows by suggesting, without quite saying it, that 50's strong opinions might be hiding something about himself. She even brought up that now infamous Vibe magazine cover with 50 and Soulja Boy, saying it made her raise an eyebrow at the time. That set off a full-on social media war. Soulja Boy came out swinging, calling Vivica a washed-up cougar desperate for attention. 50 doubled down with Instagram posts mocking her face, referencing her licking his behind. Yes, really. And even dragging her for allegedly comparing herself to Halle Berry. It wasn't just petty, it was legendary shade. But even through all the mudslinging, there was always a weird undercurrent of unfinished business. Vivica, over the years, never denied her feelings for 50. In interviews with Vlad TV, Wendy Williams, and Sherry Shepherd, she openly admitted that he was the love of her life, that their relationship ended because it became too public too fast, and that if she had a chance to do it over, she'd keep things private. She even compared a potential reunion with him to J.Lo getting back with Ben Affleck. 2 people who found each other again after years of chaos and cameras. So when 50 threw his latest joke out there about Vivica's new look, it wasn't just random commentary. It was another chapter in their long, messy saga. A saga that, for better or worse, still gets everyone talking. As the dust began to settle from the initial wave of reactions, another rumor started making its way through the gossip mill. This time, it wasn't just about the BBL itself, but about Vivica's own feelings toward it. Word on the street? She might already regret it, Allegedly, sources close to Vivica are saying that she's privately expressed dissatisfaction with the results. While her public appearance at her Viva Fox hair collection event sparked the rumors, it seems like what people saw that day might not have been what she expected. The whispers suggest that the surgery didn't quite turn out the way she hoped, and it wasn't just fans online saying it was botched. Vivica herself might be agreeing, at least behind closed doors. And if the rumors are true, she's not just feeling regret, she's contemplating fixing it, or reversing it altogether. It's not uncommon for celebrities who undergo drastic cosmetic procedures to later opt for revisions or even complete reversals, especially when the results don't match the vision they had. For Vivica, who's spent decades in the public eye with one of the most admired bodies in Hollywood, this might be a bitter pill to swallow, but here's the thing. Reversing a BBL, especially at 60, isn't as simple as hitting undo. The surgery involves removing fat from areas like the abdomen or thighs and transferring it to the buttocks. Taking it out isn't as straightforward, and it comes with its own risks and recovery process. Plus, as some experts have pointed out, reversing the procedure might not bring things back to where they were, at least not completely. Some insiders have hinted that Vivica is exploring her options and may be consulting with doctors about how to fix what she's now reportedly calling her grandma diaper booty on pencil legs. Whether or not she decides to go through with it, one thing's clear. The pressure to maintain a perfect image, especially in Hollywood, can take its toll, even on icons like Vivica. At this point, though, the ball is in her court. Will she embrace her new look and brush off the haters, or will she take the plunge and try to reverse what some are calling a misstep? Either way, fans and critics alike are watching and waiting for her next move. Now that the headlines have cooled off just a little, one question still lingers. Did Vivica really go too far? Or are we all just too obsessed with tearing down women, especially those who dare to age on their own terms? The reactions to Vivica's rumored BBL have been loud, brutal, and at times cruel. But underneath the snarky tweets and viral memes is a familiar, uncomfortable pattern. Women in the spotlight, particularly black women, face enormous pressure to stay youthful, flawless, and camera-ready no matter their age. And when they make choices, whether it's to age naturally or turn to cosmetic procedures, they're judged either way. Vivica A. Fox has always been a stunner. From her breakout roles in Set It Off and Two Can Play That Game to her red carpet reign in the early 2000s, her beauty has never been up for debate. Which is exactly why this recent body transformation sparked such intense conversation. Fans weren't just shocked, they were disappointed. It wasn't just she got work done, it was why would she get work done? People felt like she was the last person who needed it. But here's the kicker, maybe Vivica didn't do it for fans. Maybe she did it for herself. Or maybe she got caught in the same trap that snares so many others in the industry. The quiet fear of being replaced, of fading out, of no longer being the it girl in a world that constantly worships youth. Whether she's thrilled with the results or silently planning to undo them, the truth is, it's her body, her choice, her narrative. And then there's 50 Cent, the ex who never quite leaves the group chat. His response this time? Surprisingly mild. No aggressive memes, no savage captions. Just a couple of emojis and a side eye. But even that was enough to stir old rumors and reignite the fantasy that maybe, just maybe, there's still a spark between them. Whether he's genuinely watching from the sidelines or just using the moment for laughs, his comment added fuel to a story that was already blazing. At the end of the day, Vivica Fox is still standing, still trending, still talked about. Maybe this chapter won't be her proudest, but it's undeniably part of her legacy. And if we know anything about Vivica, it's that she never lets a headline define her. Love it or hate it, she owns her choices. And for that, you kind of have to respect her. So now the spotlight turns to you. Did Vivica take it too far? Is the criticism fair, or is society just addicted to policing how women age? And most importantly, will this whole BBL saga be a footnote in her career, or the start of a new era entirely? As soon as Vivica's photos hit the internet, fans had plenty to say, and they didn't hold back. Twitter threads lit up with jokes, comparisons, side-by-sides, and some genuinely emotional commentary. While some users were quick to roast the alleged results with phrases like grandma diaper booty and pencil legs, others were calling for grace, empathy, and a serious reality check on our collective obsession with women's bodies. One of the loudest criticisms wasn't just about the BBL itself, it was about the why. Fans wondered, why would someone like Vivica, who once had one of the most iconic bodies in Hollywood, feel the need to make such a drastic change at 60? For many, it wasn't about vanity, it was about pressure. The pressure to stay relevant, to stay visible, and to keep up with the ever-younger competition in an industry that treats women like they have expiration dates. On the flip side, a wave of fans and body positivity advocates rallied behind Vivica, urging people to stop dragging women for making choices about their appearance, especially when men like 50 Cent can age freely and still be celebrated. Some pointed out the double standards, how aging male stars are seen as distinguished, while women are either washed up or trying too hard, the second they show signs of getting older. There was also a very raw conversation happening around the normalization of cosmetic surgery, especially BBLs, and how it's affecting not just celebrities, but everyday women too. The idea that looking natural now involves a surgeon's touch has become more accepted than ever, and many fans expressed concern that stories like Vivica's might signal just how deep the beauty pressure runs, even for someone who's already iconic. Then came the nostalgia. Some fans reminisced about Vivica's red carpet looks in the early 2000s, calling her the blueprint, and begging her to return to that era. Others reflected on how cruel the internet has become, turning celebrity bodies into trending topics without any regard for their mental or emotional health. And tucked between the memes and debates were genuine questions, uncomfortable ones. Is the public partially responsible for pushing women to these extremes? Do we idolize youth so much that we've made it impossible to age gracefully in the spotlight? And perhaps the most complicated of all, is there any space left in pop culture for women to simply be, without having to edit, filter, or surgically tweak themselves into acceptance? The reactions weren't just about Vivica, they were a mirror to a society obsessed with perfection, one that both enforces impossible standards and mocks those who chase them. And whether or not you agree with her decision, Vivica A. Fox once again became the center of a conversation that's way bigger than just one celebrity and one body. When 50 Cent caught wind of Vivica's alleged BBL, the internet braced itself. If history was anything to go by, people were expecting a scorched earth roast session from one of hip-hop's most notorious instigators. And while 50 didn't disappoint in serving up some shade, his response this time had a surprisingly playful twist, enough that fans began speculating if there was more behind the comment than just trolling. It all started when a headline about Vivica's rumored surgery began circulating online. 50 dropped in with a cheeky, "Wait, let me see," instantly igniting the timeline. To some, it was just 50 being 50, mischievous, messy, and always ready to go viral. But to others, it read like curiosity, maybe even nostalgia. Was he really just clowning? Or was he low-key checking out what his ex was working with? The conversation escalated when fans ran with the idea that 50 might be trying to spin the block, aka revisit the past and maybe give that old flame another shot. Headlines popped up left and right. Vivica's BBL has 50 Cent spinning the block, and 50 Cent reacts to Vivica's new look. Is there still love? The speculation got so intense that 50 had to clarify himself. He responded, "Who said I was spinning the block? Damn, I ain't gonna lie, that booty was good though. I think." And that, "I think," that ambiguity, it only fueled the fire. People weren't sure if he was backtracking, teasing, or just keeping the door open. After all, this is the same man who once dragged Vivica through the mud, posting unflattering memes, reigniting old feuds, and throwing her under the bus during interviews. Yet here he was, cracking a grin and admitting that maybe, just maybe, he still remembers what they had. The thing is, 50's reaction was more than a joke. It reopened a public narrative that refuses to die, the one where Vivica A. Fox and Curtis 50 Cent Jackson are star-crossed exes who can't seem to quit each other, no matter how much shade gets thrown. And in an era where celebrity couples like Bennifer are proving that second chances are on trend, fans started asking, could a Vivica and 50 reboot actually happen? But before we go full-blown romantic comedy, it's worth noting 50 is a master manipulator of headlines. His entire brand is built on stirring the pot, staying viral, and playing the role of lovable villain. So, whether his comment was genuine curiosity, sarcastic critique, or calculated publicity, one thing is clear. He still knows exactly how to get people talking. And with Vivica's history of admitting she still has love for 50, even calling him the love of her life in interviews, the internet didn't need much more to run wild with the idea that this back and forth wasn't just old drama, it was unfinished business.